coming in off a red-hot 4-0 Sunday. Big close to a big profitable week. Real quick, guys, as you guys are watching this, make sure you guys like and subscribe below. And if you guys throw in comments, appreciate that. Keep commenting, anything to help us grow. John, red-hot, big weekend, crushing some big dogs in baseball. 5-1 week in the NBA, and a lot of dogs there that got it done outright. And then we get a 50-piece last night from Steph Curry to wrap it all up. How you doing?
Loving it. Love to wake up Monday morning and know I got to collect a lot of money, and that's what's happening today. We liked Golden State yesterday. We set that game out at a pick as soon as the lines came out. Just Golden State just felt too much experience. We'd said in our preview 22-11 in closeout games since 2015, and this was Zach's first playoff since 2005. Just lopsided experience. That core of Steph, Clay, and Dre. Been there, done that. Just too many times. It showed up in the second half. Also looked like the fractured finger on Fox. Wasn't there for Game 7. Anyway, we'll take that one. Also had the Heat. As I wrote in the preview, Heat different team in the postseason. This is playoff Jimmy we're getting. Little problem with that going forward. Little sprained ankle towards the end of the game. We'll have to see where that goes. So you got two stars, one on each team, Butler and Randall, dealing with ankles. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Early in the week, Tuesday, had a nightmare. I mean, an absolute nightmare last Tuesday. We blew a 7-2 lead and a 6-0 lead. With that, by the way, I had to block one of our members because he said I'm the worst handicapper in the world because I blew those two games, I guess. That's not going to happen. He gave me, I paid $239. I'm going to survive without your $239. I'm pretty sure. But you don't get to DM me on my Instagram and start blowing it up because we had a bad night, especially a night that we blew historic leads like that in the 8th and 9th innings. Anyway, he got blocked, so he missed the rest of the week. Don't be like that moron and get yourself blocked. That was just a microcosm of the season, guys. Look, just like any game. Last year happened also. Baseball season started really bad. We hit our stride, and we crushed baseball the rest of the year. We're going to do so again. So Tuesday, I always call it the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. He took it away on Tuesday. He gave it back. Was it Thursday, I believe? The Marlins score 5 in the 9th. We lose 4-0, and we get that W. And then after taking a 4-0 lead with the Mariners yesterday, a 185. Look, does anybody give 185 dogs? Really? Any cappers give out 185 dogs? No. Guys, I'm not a cap. I'm a fucking sharp better. I just happen to be selling my picks. 185. We took the Mariners, jump out to a 4-0 lead, then go into an 8-4 hole, come all the way back, win the game 10-8. So again, be there for the wedding, not just for the funeral. So if you were there just till Tuesday, and like I said, a couple of guys that we've had forever, Matt, Chris, a young man that used to play baseball for my travel teams years ago, cancels your memberships. Why? You know I'm going to get hot again. So you guys missed a blockbuster from one, like, what we 26 units or something for the week?
More like 23.6 units for the week. Yep.
Okay. And it was more like, I don't know, closer to 30 after Tuesday's disaster. So, guys, that's what you missed. Hang in there. This is a marathon. We'll say it a million times. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I don't have a crystal ball. I don't promise you guaranteed winners every day. I guarantee you an edge. Okay. And not like these frauds out there. We had one love bet this week. Pirates against the Dodgers. We took plus 134 early in the day. Once we got the lineups, that Muncy, Martinez were going to be out for the Dodgers, and that Reynolds was back for the Pirates. We pressed it at plus 133. That was all one. I don't have a love bet every day and come on Instagram and trying to sell you. I have a love bet when I bet more money on a game, and that was a winner. So it was a monster week. Really feel strong. Hit our stride. NBA, as always. I own the NBA. I mean, if you're a doubter at this point, I own the NBA. When the numbers go against me, 2 times so far in the playoffs, We buried both games. Went against us in game 1 of the Laker Grizzlies series. We took 3.5, went to 4.5. Got guys complaining, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't. Lakers won by what? 16 game 1? We told you they would win that series. Told you the Knicks would beat the Cavs if they had a healthy Randall, which, to be honest, Randall didn't play that big a part in it. And we started off with 2 winners. Yesterday, for Sunday, we ended off with 2 winners, going 5-1. I've got 2 bets today, both NBA games. If you want them, you got to stay tuned. We're going to start with baseball, Ben. But why don't you weigh in on the week and whatever else you want right now?
Yeah, really big week. Like you said, marathon, not a sprint, especially with baseball. I mean, I was watching the thing. It was Nationals Pirates over the weekend. It was the Saturday game. It was the 4th inning, and Nats to get 2 broken back dinkers base hits, and then a hit by pitch, bases loaded, and then the hardest hit ball of the inning was a line out to short, quick double play, boom, they were out of it just like that. And that's baseball. I mean, anything can happen. You can have all the reasonings, all your statistics, but the ball just can simply not bounce your way. So it just depends on how that falls out. Obviously, towards the front end of the week, it didn't. Back end of the week, it most definitely did. Having the right side long term throughout all of that is what matters. And then you're going to be betting with the value. So definitely a good week. Definitely getting us back on track in the MLB. NBA, like you said, you keep on owning it. Pretty excited for this week in the NBA. We get another LeBron versus Steph Curry series. So we'll see how that pans out. And today, John, we have a short baseball card we can dive into, topping it off with a doubleheader with the Braves and the Mets. Had a couple of games get postponed Saturday and Sunday. Friday got cut short with rain. Hopefully this one can get going first. We have game 1 starts just early this afternoon.
Mismatch pitching-wise, Strider, who's just been absolutely lights out, especially in his last 2 starts, going up against Reyes, who's made 5 or 6 relief appearances for them. I guess this is a bullpen game for the Mets in game 1. We've already got the lineups. Everybody's playing in both. Everybody's playing for both teams in game 1. Thought the Mets might be inclined to give some guys day off and play game 2, but what you said is true. Back-to-back days that were rained out. So I guess everybody's going to be on deck for both games in a doubleheader. Just a pitching mismatch. Braves coming in red hot. They've won 9 of their last 10 road games. They've won 4 of their last 5 overall. Mets, on the other hand, lost 5 of their last 6. Big number. Sharps are on the dog here. This overnight line opened, it was minus 245. Could have took back plus 220. Game is down to like around, you could take plus 175. I've got no interest in the Mets. Like I said, ice cold, bullpen big game going against a red hot Braves team. I'll pass this one.
Yeah, Strider, the Braves won all 5 of his starts this year. Last 2, 14 shutout innings, 22 Ks, 3 walks. He's just been absolutely dominant. I will say, like, as far as the sharp people betting the Mets, the one argument you can make is Strider did get roughed up in his 1 start at New York last year, 4 runs in 2 2/3. But he's obviously looking just as good as he was towards the backstretch of last season. We'll see if that continues. I'm more interested in Mets game 2 of this doubleheader. Pitching matchup we have there is McGill versus Morton. Morton typically a little bit rougher on the road. He has been good this year, though. He's coming off 3 straight quality starts. 4 starts against the Mets last year, though. He went 1-2, 4.98. He, too, got roughed up in New York, 5 runs, 5 2/3. Then you have McGill going here for the Mets in the second game. 2 outings versus the Braves last year, 5 runs, 6 inning pitch. So not the best there, but I think if you're looking to take a big dog with the Mets today, you have better chances in game 2.
Well, that's the problem is they're not going to be a big dog in game 2. That game right now, what are we looking at? Even plus 0.3, minus 0.2. So it's not a big dog there, and just don't want to back McGill in that one either. He's pitched well at home, but been destroyed on the road. His last 2 starts, 7 runs off 13 hits, 3 of which are home runs in just 9 innings. Tough to back him there. We'll wait to see lineups in game 2. You never know. While they've had the previous days off, both teams go on the road and play starting tomorrow, fresh series, so that you don't want it to affect it that way. Just not interested in the Mets today, not as cold as they be. If they can get some hits in game 1, look like the bats come alive, and Braves sit some people in game 2, might be interested there, or if that line goes higher. As is right now, I don't have a bet in the Met doubleheader. Or do I have any baseball game right now?
Yeah. Cubbies at Washington. They're coming off a 3-game sweep. They got swept at Miami. Those Marlins bats starting to wake up a little bit. They have Smiley on the bump today. He's been dominant. 4 starts, just 4 runs in 23 and a third. Then you have Gore going for Washington. 3 of his last 4 have been quality starts. As far as this Nationals team, they're coming off this series against Pittsburgh, hottest team in baseball. Beat them 7-2 yesterday, lost the prior 3. They're 3-11 at home, so really tough to get going there. Pitching edge to Smiley, but Gore not been horrible. Would be a lean to Washington. Don't love it with that home record. Can they piece 2 wins together? I don't know. Cubbies bat starting to slow down a little bit, though, so not interested in laying the Cubs as a road favorite in this spot, despite how good Smiley's been. Yeah,
Cubs have lost 6 of their last 8, but they're still second in the majors, batting .276, and they are batting .285 versus left-hand pitch. You get 2 lefties going at it in Smiley and Gore today. Nationals, even better against lefties. They're hitting .294. Line is right where the number should be. I don't see an edge on this one. Would like Nationals. They just haven't gotten the job done at home. Just winning yesterday. Again, as Ben said, 3-11. Cubs not so in a little bit of a losing streak. 2 good pitchers going at it. It's a tough one. Normally we go to the home dog, but I'll stay off this one. Just not big enough. It would have to be a little higher for me to be interested in the Nationals.
And we have Reds taking a trip to San Diego, where they just dominated. Padres have won 12 of the last 13 meetings, including the last 7 in San Diego. Then you have Padres coming back from the Mexico series with the Giants. They win both games in Mexico, scoring 22 runs with that high elevation. Cincy, they lost this last game against Oakland on this trip, but snapped their 5-game win streak. So they're playing well prior to that. Snell versus Weaver. Snell's typically a guy I'm looking to go against. Padres have lost all 5 of his starts. Last 2 been a bit better, 4 runs in 10 innings. And then you have Weaver, who's just been miserable, 10 runs, 14 hits, 5 homers, and 11 2/3. I'm interested to see the Padres bats and just the pitching in general, if there's any more adjustments from the weekend in Mexico, if that mess with anything the way they did mechanically. But I can't get behind Weaver, especially with this matchup ownership. I'm always looking for a reason to go against Snell. So with a big price would be a slightest of leans to the Reds, but tough to go against 12 of 13 on a streak like that.
Yeah, so Reds are getting the sharp money so far on. The overnight line has gone down to 190, where you could have took over 200. I just don't want to back Weaver. I can see what you're betting against. You got the team San Diego coming from Mexico. Look, they went to Mexico, last in team batting average at 215. They played in a bandbox, my term, for a small ballpark. They raised their batting average 12 points in 2 games. So now they're 25th batting, 227. But again, a little bit of a fraudulent batting average down in San Diego. Also, when you're coming back from Mexico, take that into account. Snell has been terrible. He don't belong to be a 200 pitcher. But again, San Diego owns the series, and Beaver's horrible. He's given up 5 home runs in 11.2 innings, a homer every other inning. San Diego just smashed the bounce at him. Yes, that was in Mexico. Cincy or nobody, but not bucking that trend with Weaver on the mound. Give me a Green, give me an Ashcraft, and you might want to buck that trend against Snell with them coming back, but not with Weaver.
Then we have Phillies going to LA. They're coming off taking 2 of 3 at Houston, but they did lose in the Sunday night game last night. 7-2 their last night, playing good ball right now. Dodgers, they've been beating up on this bad Cardinals team. Beat them 6-3 yesterday, swept the series, and are 6-2 their last day. So 2 teams playing pretty good baseball over the last week. Walker versus Gonsolin. Gonsolin returns through 3.1 shutout innings against the Pirates. We'll see how much of a leash he gets today, how many pitches he's allowed to throw. And then Walker, he was crushed his last start for Philly. Prior to that, he had a pair of quality starts against the Dodgers last year, gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3 at LA. Slightest links to Philly. Both teams playing good right now. Maybe a little bit of letdown for the Phillies coming off a night game, as well as just that 2-3 game set at Houston, where they took 2 games in the World Series revenge. Slight lean to Philly, though. Don't want to be backing Gonsolin. What are you going to get? Maybe 4 or 5 innings. So not interested in backing the Dodgers here.
Yeah, we bet against the Dodgers his first time out. That was one of our big bets with Pittsburgh. Knew he was only going to pitch around 4 innings. He went 3.1 innings. He ain't going to last past 5 in this one. So right there, you're already leaning towards Philly. But Philly is coming off the Sunday night game, That's World Series revenge. That was a
Yep.
huge series for them. And Dodgers are sitting home. Big advantage to the team. If the other team plays Sunday night, has to travel, and you played a day game, and you're just sitting home waiting for them. So big edge for Dodgers in that respect. Also, Dodgers getting healthier. You had the closer Gratterall and Major League leading home run hitter Muncy, both on paternity leave. They're back. Will Smith came off the injured list. Dodgers getting healthier. A sweep over St. Louis. It looks like a little bit of a big number, but these are the reasons why it is. Plus, Walker. We bet on Walker his last time out with Philly. We won that game because Philly came back. Was a great come-from-behind win. But he did not pitch good. Gave up 5 runs at 4 innings. For those reasons, I'm not on the dog in this one, Ben.
Cleveland going to the Yankees, a little bit of an ALDS rematch from last year. They met earlier this season. Yankees took 2 of 3 in the matchup. They won 8 of 11 last year, including the ALDS. You have this Guardians team not playing good baseball right now. They've lost 6 of 9, coming off a trip at Boston, losing 2 of 3. And the Yankees struggling as well. They are now 2-6 their last 8, scored just 4 runs in their last 3. They're hitting a $174 since Judge come out. So Yankees lineup not doing damage. Guardians lineup not doing damage. Quantrill versus Herman. Quantrill, one of our favorite guys to back. He was roughed up his last start. Prior to that, he had 2 quality starts, allowing 3 runs in 12 innings. Did not have good success against the Yankees. And ALDS gave up 7 runs in 10 innings, but did have a quality start in the regular season. And then Herman, last 2 starts, 10 runs, 10 hits, 5 homers in 12 innings. Not been good pitching from him last 2 games. Got to be Guardians or nobody. I mean, dog price with 2 teams not hitting. Guardians or nobody. Quantrill, guy we like to back, just tough in this situation. Yankees seen him a lot. A little bit of ownership there, but not too dominant.
Yeah, no, both pitchers not pitching well. This is all about Judge. Yankees, I told Ben before we came on, I'm kicking myself in the ass for not making Texas a love bet.
Yeah.
Yes, once we knew that Judge was out of the lineup. They're not hitting with them in the lineup. Well, let me see. They've scored more than 2 runs just twice in their last 8 games. In the 3 that Judge has missed, they've scored all of 2 runs. Is it? Okay, they scored a total of 4 runs without him, batting 174, as Ben said. Judge is out. I'm betting the Guardians. I'm not going to, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're not scoring. Guardians haven't been playing great. 2 teams that are disappointing. Yankees disappointing more so. They're banged up. Got to remember Stanton already on the injured list. Donaldson on the injured list. Ben, what was the number you said? They got 184 million tied up on the injured list right now.
Yeah, between Judge, Rodon, Stanton, Montaz, Donaldson. I mean, yeah, that team is hurting right now. So we'll see if they overcome.
Judge is out. It's, don't overthink it. I'll be right up against them again with the Guardians in that one. Right now, this line's sitting at Yankees anywhere from $1.30 to $1.35.
Then we have Toronto at Boston. This is just a matchup Blue Jays dominated last season, winning 16 of 19 on the season. They won the last 8 at Boston. They come in, they snap or they blow a lead to Seattle, one of the winners yesterday. Nice little winner there. And then you have the Red Sox coming in, taking 2 of 3 against the Guardians. Pitching matchup, you have Kluber, who's just been batting practice to start the year. He was good in that last start against Baltimore, 1 run in 6 innings. And then you have Berrios, who has been better as well. 2 of his last 3 starts been quality starts. He actually has good numbers against the Red Sox. Now, granted, I'm never looking to back Berrios as a road favorite. Still couldn't look at the Red Sox direction in this game. Would be Blue Jays or nobody. Slightly into the over in this game. Red Sox 3rd on the season in cashing overs. And Kluber's been a pitcher to help deliver those. Wouldn't be surprised if Berrios got roughed up a little bit in this matchup, but did have good numbers against Boston last year.
Good numbers against Boston last year. He's pitched good his last couple of times out, but is horrible on the road. And it's just not a short sample size. 0-3, 7.56 in 3 starts this year. Last year, 5-5, 6.36 ERA in 16 road starts. Can't pitch on the road. I mean, that's a nice big sample size. Just can't get behind Kluber in this game especially with the dominant. I mean, it's dominating. 16-9 and 8 straight in Boston. Don't want no part of the Red Sox, and that's a home dog. Again, you figure I jump on. Just not going to do it. Just definitely not going to back Berrios with those road stats.
And then it's Giants at Houston. Giants, the other half, returning from Mexico. They lose both those games to the Padres. They've now lost 3 straight. And then you have Houston coming off the win against Philly, lost 2 or 3 in the series. Pitching matchup, got to give the edge to Garcia there for the Astros. 2 gems, 13 shutout innings, 16 Ks, 3 walks in his last 2 starts. Stripling, 3 runs, 2 earned, and 3 1/3. They've been using Stripling in and out of the rotation. He's kind of just a fill guy. They've been using him for some starts, goes 2-3 innings. They've been using him in long relief to go 2-3 innings. Not a pitcher I want to be backing here. He's just had a lot going on. So Astros are nobody. I don't want to be laying that price, though. Disgusting price. I think with good reason with the massive pitching edge.
Overpriced. And they're making you're going to pay the price to get the defending world champions against the team returning from San Francisco, throwing in a spot starter. And then that's as simple as it can. So it's an overlay, but really not interested in San Francisco. Like I said, just coming back from from Mexico with Stripling on the mound. Garcia, 2 real sharp outings. Overpriced, but no, not interested in taking the dog. Few games like that today. So you had Cincy at San Diego, again, overpriced. Just can't pull the trigger because of Weaver and the domination. Toronto, a little bit overpriced. Berrios horrible on the road, but couldn't take the home dog because of Kluber and the Toronto owning that series there. And this one here with San Fran returning from Mexico with Stripling, who's been in and out of the rotation, against Garcia, who's looked really good his last couple of times out. So potential spots, the lines say they're overlays, but everything else doesn't line up. And we want both to line up when we make a bet.
And we got 2 good NBA games tonight, John. We have 76ers at Boston. We have Suns at Phoenix, game 2. Let's go ahead and dive into the NBA. I mean, first we can touch on the weekend a little bit. Obviously, we had that Suns-Nuggets game 1. Nuggets take care of business. We had the closeout there from Golden State last night. I mean, Steph Curry, what a performance. That's the NBA record in game 7. Just absolutely ridiculous. GOAT performances type stuff. So shout out Steph Curry for that game. And I mean, as far as Lakers closing out, so a lot went on this weekend. Any recapping thoughts from what we saw over the weekend moving on into the second round?
Steph Curry, Steph Curry against Sacramento Kings in a game 7. I'm not an after guy. We bet Golden State. We took the wrong number, if you want to call it. People saw Sacramento as the side. I thought it was a no-brainer for Golden State. Yeah. We with Golden State in the first 2 games of the series. I like Golden State pretty much the whole way. We caught that series really right. We caught Sacramento in game 4 at Golden State. We called it pretty much perfect. But again, now Sac gets the Lakers. That's the game the NBA wanted. That's Steph versus LeBron. Steph holds a little 15-7 postseason edge on LeBron. So we'll see how that one game goes. But we'll get into that one tomorrow. 5-1 in the NBA during the week, guys. The only loser we had was when Nuggets went to 4.5 just before post time. Thought that was enough points for Phoenix, and we took them. Well, let's start there because I'm coming right back with Phoenix. Denver's a different team. Why? They lost 5 of their final 7 regular season games. They were trying to get Jokic some rest. They're getting everybody some rest, but mainly Joker. Playoffs come, and Jamal Murray's looking the best he's looked since the bubble when he was dropping 50s on the Jazz when him and Mitchell were going at it. Playing phenomenal, and that's what Denver needs to be that best. That's what they are right now. They're the best. They're the best in the West since the playoffs started. Phoenix struggled with a depleted Clipper team. They lost the first game while Kawhi Leonard was still available, but no Paul George, and they lost it at home. They gained the split, and then Clippers lose Kawhi Leonard. So Phoenix should have had a walkover. They did win all 4 games, but just 2-2 against the spread. What happened on Saturday night, the teams met twice going down the stretch, both times at Phoenix. And I think that was since March 31st. What happened in those 2 games, Denver rested all their starters in both games. They were already pretty much a lock for the 1 seed. while Phoenix still needed to win to clinch the 4 seed. So resting their starters there not only gave them the rest. I mean, that's a long time ago already, but Phoenix didn't get a look at their starters, and they got to look at them in game 1 for sure. The biggest difference in game 1, and what's going to be the difference in the series, is 3-pointers. Denver's knocking down threes, and Phoenix, besides the Knicks, are the worst shooting 3. They shoot a decent percent, but they don't hit enough. Suns lead in the playoffs in field goal percentage. They even outshot Denver in the first game. They outshot them, but Denver killed them at the 3-point line. Let me pull up my stats. Give me a sec, guys. They killed them at the 3-point line. Denver knocking down 16 of 37 threes, while Suns knocked down only 7 of 23. So when you knock down 9 more threes, that's 27 points. Nuggets also out-rebounded them 49-8, including 6-8 on the offensive glass. Look, they beat them up, and they beat them good. Phoenix had a first-quarter lead, and that was it. Game 2 will be different. Like I said, all that being said, this is still Phoenix. I think they'll regain their footing. Now they took a look at how Denver's going to play with their starters. They didn't get to look at them those last two games of the regular season. I expect a much better showing from Phoenix. You still got KD and D Book there, 2 of the top NBA players. Jamal Murray lighting it up. If he continues like this, I mean, they're a threat. They're a threat. There's no question about it. But I like Phoenix. I expected them to steal one of the two. And after that blowout, my mind hasn't changed any bit. I like Phoenix tonight. We took 4.5.
Yeah, I think it's tough betting the Suns team in game 1s of series just because I know Monty Williams say, he still isn't even as a coach adapted to Kevin Durant being back in the roster. So when you go into these series matchups and you're facing a new team like that, saw in game 1 against the Clippers as well, just the adjustments as a team weren't there, rearranged starting lineup, rearranged minute rotations, their matchup versus the Clippers dominated the rest of the series. Obviously, Kawhi's injury played a part in that. I think similar things going to happen here with the Nuggets. They're just still figuring out the rotations, everything with Kevin Durant. Going to have that a bit more solidified here for game 2 against Nuggets for how they match up versus them. Obviously, the rebounds and the 3-point shooting, I know you made those points. It's going to definitely come down to the 3-point shooting. Kevin Durant was pretty sloppy in game 1. Going to be interesting how he adapts. He's going to find a lot of times inside the paint there, matching up with Jokic inside as far as fighting for those rebounds. And really the foul trouble, that was a bit problematic there for Phoenix as well. So if they can stay out of foul trouble, not hit Jokic early, that was a big issue for Minnesota in that series against Denver, the foul trouble down the stretch in those games. I mean, Towns and Gobert pretty much had 5 fouls in every fourth quarter. Would agree with you, it's Phoenix in this game or nobody in the split series situation. And I expect them to improve with the rotations and everything else as they adapt. Still figuring it out. I mean, getting a new player who plays as many minutes as Kevin Durant, not necessarily easy to mix into your rotations within a couple of weeks.
Game 1 in this is the first game today, and that's Philadelphia at Boston. And you look at everything says you got to bet Boston. Just close your eyes and bet Boston. Last 2 times they've met in the playoffs, Boston has won 8 of the 9 games. Celtics 9-1 straight up, 8-2 against the spread. Their last 10 home games. Celtics won 3 of 4 regular season meetings. 4-0 against the spread against the 76ers. We can go on and on and on. Most part is Joel Embiid. He probably is not playing today. They win the first 3. They swept the Nets 4 games. Embiid diagnosed with a sprained LCL. So they got him listed as doubtful. Don't think he's going to play. But 12-5 straight up and against the spread without Embiid. This is always the argument that I have when guys talk about he should have been the MVP instead of Joker last couple of years. Philadelphia can win without Embiid. Joker ain't win. Denver cannot win without Joker. So, but getting back to this particular game, not only that 76ers have won 12 of 17 games, like I said, straight up and against the spread without Embiid. They've been off since April 22nd. Long rest. To get the legs under Harden, everybody else, enough practice time without Embiid on the court. This line went up to double digits, 10 points. Yes, Boston, everything says Boston in a blowout. I say no. I say Philadelphia without Embiid will keep them under double digits. So we took plus 10 on this one.
Can we kind of talk about your numbers a little bit on this game? Because I know you, as far as your numbers with Embiid, you don't make him, as much as some of the other superstars, like you just said, as far as the MVP race, but even to your numbers directly, what are your numbers without Embiid, and then how far do you adjust it with him being out?
So if you guys are members, you go to the ratings page, and you see I've got Philadelphia rated 39.6 on the road. That's with a healthy Embiid. Without him, my number, and I'm counting him out. I'm counting Embiid out. My number is 36.3. So I'm only down 3.3 with Embiid out of the game. Again, like I said, I don't pull numbers out of the air. They're 12-5 straight up and against the spread without him. Mm-hmm. When you become, if they were a favorite, it would be more than 3.3. As a dog, especially as the number gets bigger, he gets less, if you can follow what I'm trying to say. Yep. So at 36.3 on the road without Embiid, Celtics 43.3 at home. Yes, Boston pretty much owns the series, but I give Philly has the much extra rest. The number is 7. I took 10. Literally, as we're talking, this game has just gone down to 9.5.
I agree with you. Side on this game is Philly or nothing. I actually like the over in this game as well. Boston played very high scoring, very up tempo against Atlanta.
High scoring team though.
Yes, but Philly, I think without Embiid in particular, they play that style. They play a bit more up tempo. You have guys like Maxey who pushes pace. Embiid means a lot defensively. He makes teams slow things down in the half court. He dominates a lot of attention there in the paint. Similar to what Anthony Davis means to the Lakers. So I think we're going to see a little bit of a less defensive effort here from Philly. I think they're going to try to do it more so on the offensive end. We'll see if they can contend there with Boston. And interested to see which of those guards, Harden or Maxey, one of them is going to have to step up and give a game down there in the backstretch of that Brooklyn series. We saw Tobias Harris have a nice little finish, close out. We'll see if that continues. Got to be the Philly or nobody. That's a massive number there for a team who's been off over a week. And Boston shot themselves in the foot a little bit, having to play that extra game at Atlanta.
Yep. Philly, they held the Nets to the lowest scoring points in the first round. And in the last game, without Embiid, held Nets to 88 points. So I would be a little worried about the total in that one. Just 10 points. Look, I hope it's a low-scoring game. The lower scoring game, the more that 10 points means. I just took 10 points. I took 4.5 points. The two dogs, playoff games, different than regular season. Those points are big. As always, guys, look, I don't know what the record is, Ben. Maybe you can help us out here. When dogs cover, they usually win the game outright. So all the games, if you were betting, we're pretty much betting dogs the whole way. You can cash them in. I always give the line out with the points. It's up to you if you want to bet a little sprinkle on the money line, but we cashed another couple this weekend. I'm not saying Philly can beat Celtics outright. That'd be a big show without a beat, but 10 points, just too many. I think they keep it close. Celtics did that in the first game. But they have a 30-point lead in game one on the Hawks. They let the Hawks back in the game. They wind up winning it by 13. But I just think Philly will keep this one close. They see each other many times, very familiar with each other. Boston has owned the series, but 10 points, just enough for me to take the dog in this one.
And we'll see how that pans out. Pretty small MLB card today, guys. Obviously, the 2 NBA games, and we have a lot of action going on the rest of the week. A lot of good NBA action going on. Like I said at the start, if you guys could like, subscribe, make sure you guys comment below, help blow this thing up for us, giving you guys a lot of information. Appreciate those of you guys who have been doing that. And the big week, 23.6 unit week. Make sure you guys go download the app, go to the website, howtobeatthebookie.com. Check it out. If you guys have any questions, go DM us on Instagram. We'll answer your questions about the service. Anything else, John? You got anything else to add?
That's it. Let's continue to make some money.
Yep, let's make some money.